What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive into our daily cryptocurrency content and analytics for today. What happened to Bitcoin these past few days? That's the question everyone is asking, and we're going to be talking about that today. And also looking at other news, including Vechain with a new partnership alongside with Tron and Ripple pairings being added to the Apple stock application, which is pretty cool. It's going to definitely increase the reach. But let's first look at Bitcoin's technical analysis, and then we'll take some live audience requests for some other analysis. But you can see with Bitcoin, we're still below that 50-day moving average. We're below this EMA. If you don't know, the EMA is this red line right here. And things are looking quite bearish right now for Bitcoin. However, I will tell you there is a lot of hope in this chart. If you look at this RSI, you can see we are now approaching oversold levels. These are the levels that I've always made money in because I understand the market as an analyst, and you know that anything below 30, especially when levels are approaching 31, 32, are oversold levels in which the asset class is completely undervalued and will most likely see an exuberance in price levels sometime in the near future. And knowing that we're seeing the RSI levels are low, by the way, let's pop our LaCroix. We do our guilt-free soda every single time. Let's take a sip. And yes, so looking at this chart, of course, yes, we're in this bearish state right now. We're finalizing this swing low, but in my opinion, it's only going to be a matter of time in which we are going to see a reversal occur here with Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is, look, we're following this ascending support level right now. We triple bottomed alongside this descending support level or ascending support level, and this is going to confirm the triple bottom that's going to allow us to see a true reversal within Bitcoin's pattern, right? We've got this overall pennant forming here on the daily chart. If you don't know, a pennant is where these resistance levels are descending and you've got these ascending support levels. So knowing that we're in this pennant formation, also knowing that it's only going to take a little bit more of some sell-off for us to hit this support level, which will initiate this oversold region, which would also most likely finalize this MACD fast length on its way down for it to finally cross over to that slow length. So I am bullish on Bitcoin over the short term and the long term, and I think that this was just another swing high to swing low that was occurring to finalize the triple bottom, which is now going to initiate the consolidation period, which is what I'm expecting right now. So over the past few days, we've seen a consolidation around 7,500, and we really need Bitcoin to consolidate between 10,000 and 7,000, in my opinion, for us to even expect to see any all-time highs in the July timeframe. So knowing that we need consolidation, understand consolidation is an opportunity for an asset class to gain what we call accumulation. So accumulation periods are where investors are buying into this coin, securing the price levels so that it can never go below a certain price level, because as you hold more of this asset, it becomes more valuable, and then the supply and demand equates into a higher price level. So we need to see Bitcoin's price most preferably bounce off of this support level, start to head back up. Even if we see resistance around 9,000, that would still be healthy in my opinion. Even if we were to see another swing low from there, I wouldn't be worried. But the overall goal is for us to approach the end of this pennant, which is the apex of the pennant. And then during that approach of the apex, what we call a squeeze will occur. And that squeeze is what, in my opinion, is going to take Bitcoin's price above all of these known resistance levels that we've been fighting to break over the past few months. So nothing to worry about, in my opinion. Let's see what the live audience has to say about our analysis here. We've got Nana Rapuk says, "Hey Naeem, could you do LTC? When is a Ruby Mastermind?" So good questions. We will do Litecoin, and then our next Ruby Mastermind is going to be tonight around 6 p.m. So I will see some of you guys there tonight. And if you don't know, here is our little advertisement for the Ruby and Above Night Owl. Tonight, we're going to be on our Discord hosting our Ruby and Above Night Owl. So hopefully I'll see some of you there tonight. That's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Discord. So that's when our Ruby and Above Night Owl is going to occur. And then let's do our LTC to USD chart here to take a look at what's going on with Litecoin. Very similar to Bitcoin. You can see we're approaching this accumulation zone RSI now is starting to head towards these oversold regions. I would say that Litecoin is acting just like Bitcoin at this point, and you can almost correlate the same analysis that I did with Bitcoin with Litecoin at this point. Knowing we're approaching this known bottom, I think it's just going to be a matter of time until these RSI levels are obviously oversold, not just oversold, but obviously oversold, in which we will see that reversal occur, as we saw twice already, and then we saw a third time here. And it's something that we've seen in traditional markets for decades. So RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is a great and one of my favorite indicators to utilize. So hopefully that helps. Cynthia says, thank you so much for being with all. Absolutely, Cynthia. Thank you. EMEC1 says, Naeem, do you think that retail investors will slowly exhaust themselves out of the market? Absolutely not. I think retail investors are just now starting to get into this market. If you are working a job where you interact with a lot of people, I implore you to start asking the question to some of your customers, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? If they say yes, have you ever heard of Ethereum, right? If they say yes, say, have you ever purchased Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Start asking people, and you'll start realizing that retail investors have not necessarily came into this market. We are still in the early adopter phase. We have not even touched the early majority, where we're going to see the majority of the world adopting this type of technology. Cynthia says, appreciate your never-ending support for all your members during this time. Thank you, Cynthia. Absolutely. I was talking to a member today, and I was like, man, we just need to keep the positivity there, because we've seen these price levels multiple times. We've seen these swing highs and swing lows multiple times. In my opinion, the fact that we're maintaining the 7,000 level is exactly what we want to see at this point, right? Even understand the fact that we went back down to this bottom is extremely healthy. And the reason I say that is a triple bottom is more of a confident support level than a double bottom, because a triple bottom is 3 confirmations. It's like the Bitcoin blockchain, right? You get 1 verification of your transaction, but then you want a second verification and a third verification. The more verifications you get, the more confident you are in the transaction you made, because you're getting all these verifications, right? Well, it's the same thing with technical analysis. The more verifications you get, the more confidence you have, right? So for us to triple bottom, which we are going to triple bottom at least at minimum around the 6,900 range. And the reason I say that is because it would just make sense for us to triple bottom there, knowing the RSI is becoming oversold. So knowing that we're about to triple bottom at that level, it gives me more confidence as an investor, knowing that the bottom here is the $6,900 range. Let's say we go back up to 9,000, then drop back down to 8,000 and consolidate at 8,000. Well, I'm fine with that, because guess what? We're approaching the end of this apex. And in a technical sense, the end of this apex is also going to be the initiator of what's going to take us to all-time highs later down the road. It's good that we're seeing descending support levels, or ascending support levels and descending resistance levels. It's good that we're forming a pennant. It's good that regulations are maturing. It's good that institutions are eyeing this market. It's good that most people haven't yet bought into Bitcoin. Understand that the majority of people saw the December-January rally as a beacon of hope. Nobody jumped in December and January. Only the people that already were confident in this technology jumped in. And then there were a few others that were like, okay, cool, this is really cool. But for the most part, the majority of people did not jump in December and January. That was just the beacon of hope, in my opinion. Do you agree with me, live audience? Yay or nay? Put it in the chat. Johan says, my little brother's wife works in a bank. He wants to buy Bitcoin now. It goes to show that BTC is getting more accepted. Many bankers hate BTC, and they are losing the battle to general opinion. Well, guess what? The banks and cryptocurrencies are two opposites. They are going head to head with each other. Understand that there is a war going on as we speak. It's just like what happened in the early days when, you know, you can use it many examples, whether it's .com era or if it's just traditional mail that transitioned into email, right? Took out the US Postal Service. Goldmod878 says, I have been here for a long time. I'm just wondering what happened. We used to have fun in the night owls with everyone for free. And that stupid wolf background, now it's all mainstream crud. Well, we used to only have like 25 to 100 viewers, but now we have thousands of viewers. So we've scaled our model. But if you guys haven't recently been on our Discord, things have been popping. I mean, we have been posting daily updates, posting technical analysis, long-term TA, different coin reports. We have another coin report coming out soon, and we're going to be having our Ruby Mastermind tonight. And then we've also had constant communication in our general and trading chat. So I highly recommend everyone get into our Discord. The link is in the description below, and it'll take you to an application like this, and you just click open Discord, and then you're immediately into our free community here at Snipers Tube. So highly recommend. I see some of you guys in our community soon, and you can see we actually just posted some really cool premium education today. And if you see it here, I highly recommend checking these educational channels, but it's talking about emotions and self-awareness. Emotions and self-awareness is a huge topic in Ray Dalio's book, Principles. If you don't know what Principles is, it's a book by one of the largest hedge fund managers in the world who manages over $175 billion in assets, right? And he talks about emotional stability and emotional intelligence in his book and how crucial it is to make logical but not emotional decisions in this market and then in life in general, right? It's a successful individual. So it's more of a personal development and a trading book, which is why I highly recommend checking out Principles by Ray Dalio. We might give one away at the end of this live stream if we feel good about it. But if you go to our recommended reading list here on our Discord under helpful reads, you can see some of these books that I recommend, and then Principles by Ray Dalio being one. Somebody says, have you asked... Okay, I just lost that question. A lot of people said yay. Christopher Martinez says yay. Brett says yay from our last question. Have you asked Philocone to work with your team? Zach Dems. No, I haven't done much with Philocone, but he's a great guy. Kyle says, love your enthusiasm. Been with this channel for a while. Appreciate the knowledge. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you being on the channel for quite a while. Tony Vase says it will go to 4,800, but honestly, no one knows. I love the content, bro. Learning a lot from you. Thank you, Prince. I don't see it going down below to 4,000. Absolutely not. I just don't see that happening. And if it were to break this resistance level, I think that we'd have a lot more worries on our hand than just Bitcoin, right? Knowing that this is a very strong support level, knowing that in a technical sense that RSI is becoming oversold, I just don't see it going down to those levels. I'm really expecting a green wave sometime soon. So, you know, you can hold me against my word or not, but that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting green very soon. Emax says 200 likes for Naeem to wear a Bitcoin hat. Deal. If we get 200 likes, I will go on a live stream later today and literally just sit in front of the live stream wearing a Bitcoin hat. The Tiger's Third Eye says, smash the likes. It helps snipers and crypto reach more people. Thank you. Mitch says, hey, mate, have you looked at the 6 of every month? You'll see a high and low every time on the 6. Pretty crazy. Yes. So one of our analysts actually synthesized or came up with the idea that on the 6 of every month, we've seen a huge amount of buyers come into this market. And if you go under our premium technical analysis, or actually it's under our market health updates, we post daily updates on our Discord if you guys are Patreon members, and that's under patreon.com/snipers. And you can see he talks about, I'll play a little bit of it here, but he talks about what's happening sometime soon when the 6 occurs. Every time we've seen the 6 occur, we've seen a huge spike in volume. Check this out.
Good afternoon, snipers. Taking a look here at Bitcoin dollar on Bitfinex on the weekly. Going ahead here, going to monitor today. Today is important. We're going to see what happens on the close on the weekly candle. Right now, we are going into this price level where we did have multiple touches on the wick. We have 1, 2, 3 touches, and now the 4th approaching. What I do believe here, with this continuous on the weekly, continues to go down for that scenario potentially to keep in play until it doesn't, that type of thing. So what I do believe here to happen is still to go lower. It's really when and how far we go low. This point, right now, explain.
So I highly recommend you guys check that out if you guys are on the Discord. But he talks about how we're approaching this known accumulation zone, just like we're talking about. And understand that technical analysis is most effective when you have multiple perspectives. So that's why I like to have analysts that work in Snipers Tube, right? That's why I like to look at other analysts that are on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, TradingView, right? Because my mentor taught me this. He said, Naeem, if you want to be a good analyst and you want to predict long or short-term swings in price levels, look at multiple different perspectives and analysis on that specific asset class, because what that's going to give you is what we call an overall understanding of that asset class's health condition, right? It's almost like a baby. It's in different conditions at different times. It has seasons, right? So it's the same thing in this market. You have to understand it's different seasons, and looking at different perspectives gives you that ability to see it from somebody else's perspective, which could initiate a thought that you may have not have thought about prior. So hopefully that has helped out. But anyways, to transition, I wanted to talk about this cool article. You guys know I'm very bullish on this project, Vechain. They just partnered up with the Lingang International Manufacturing Exhibition Trading Center. But I found something interesting in this Medium article. I'm not going to go through everything, but it's talking about almost like institutions coming into this market soon, right? It says here, the collaboration will expedite the reach and development of the Vechain Thor platform for the foreseeable future through its partnership. If you guys don't know, Vechain is a supply and logistics blockchain that was actually created by Louis Vuitton's CFO in Hong Kong, I believe. And its primary mission is to pretty much overcome all of the forgery and the duplicates that are being made in a lot of different industries, such as wine or retail like Louis Vuitton, where there's fake bags being made, because you can easily implement these bags with a code and put it on a blockchain so that everything can be verified, right? So that's kind of the niche that they're going towards. And it says here, the Vechain Thor blockchain will be established on a commercial level alongside events to facilitate knowledge transfer with organizations. And what I like about this is it says established on a commercial level. So what we're starting to see are these side projects outside of Bitcoin, outside of Ethereum, making its way into the major markets, right? This, in my opinion, is the exact scenario that we saw back in 2000 when the dot-com era was really coming to fruition, and we started to see all of these companies starting to partner with all of these other companies like Microsoft and Apple, and then they started initiating partnerships, which eventually turned into the largest companies that we have today, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and some of these companies that were very early in development back in 2000, but now a decade plus later have now become very prominent in the marketplace. So very exciting to see that here with Vechain. Another article here, a lot of people have already heard of this, but Apple adding the Ripple and Tron ticker symbol to their stock app. Pretty exciting because it's showing you user adoption and the start to what I expect to become the early majority phase of this cryptocurrency revolution. So that's really where we're going to see the majority of liquidity flow into this market. And then transitioning on to total market cap of coins, I do have a couple coins I want to talk about here because you see Ethereum down 21% over the past 7 days, a lot lower than Bitcoin, obviously being down 13%. But if we were to pull up Satoshi value, right? If you guys don't know the Satoshi value, the majority of coins you trade are against Bitcoin, right? So you always want to look at the Satoshi value because sometimes it's more profitable to hold Bitcoin than it is to trade it for an altcoin. So if we were to pull up the Satoshi value here, you can see with the majority of these coins, it's a lot less dramatic of a drop that we're seeing in regards to USD value, but you can see Ethereum down 8% in Satoshi value, Bitcoin Cash down 10%, and then Cardano down 12%. I'm expecting the majority of liquidity that's going to flow into this market to obviously go into altcoins because we are expecting dominance to start heading towards 30%, as right now we're around 25%. So knowing that's going to be the case, the question is, which altcoins do you currently want to have in your portfolio? Well, in my opinion, there's some very intrinsically valuable coins like EOS, Stellar, Cardano, Tron, Ethereum that you obviously want to have in your swing trading portfolios, but there's still other coins that, in my opinion, have not yet seen as much of the exuberance that we are potentially going to expect coming in to the latter aspect of Q2 of 2018. And some of those coins include the Binance coin. You can see it's 2% up over the past 7 days, but understand they're going to have a coin burn coming up soon, as they do on every quarter. So knowing that they're going to be burning some coins, every time we've seen a coin burn, we've seen an exuberance in price. They're also building their own blockchain. I think the Binance coin is a coin that's going to be in the top 10 very soon. So I highly recommend you guys look into the Binance coin as a project to invest in for the long term, or even to swing in the short or medium term. Another project that I'm very excited about right now is Icon, Zilliqa, and Ontology. These are projects that I've talked about over the past few weeks. Amisco, also a really good project. I think out of these three right now, Zilliqa is probably your best bet if you want to get a good deal. If you look at Zilliqa's chart here, you can actually pull it up, ZIL BTC, looking at Zilliqa. And maybe tomorrow's live stream will talk solely about this topic, which is what coins to start dollar cost averaging into before this rally. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments in the chat. But you can see with Zilliqa, we're still below that EMA, but we're starting to see that 50-day moving average rise near the price levels, possibly going to form some support right around 1490 Satoshis, in my opinion. And I think if you let this lower itself just a little bit more as we start to see Bitcoin head towards these oversold regions, I think the best bet for Zilliqa is going to be right on top of that 50-day moving average. So wait for it to start coming down to this 50-day and allowing that EMA to start converging towards the 50-day for us to start initiating a position into Zilliqa. And then you can also do it prior to this 50-day being hit. I don't believe we'll see Zilliqa hit the 50-day. I think we'll see it approach the 50-day and then see exuberance, kind of like what happened with EOS. If we pull up EOS Bitcoin, you can see we went right down to that 50-day. We bounced on top, and now we're right above that 50-day moving average. What's also interesting about EOS that's different than most coins right now is we're above the EMA as well. So another great coin to look into, in my opinion. Then we'll do Litecoin BTC here as well. Pull up Litecoin, you can see we broke this overall pennant formation. So we'll go ahead and actually remove this here so we can do a quick reanalysis. And knowing Litecoin from the past, it obviously follows Bitcoin. But looking at this chart, the one thing about Litecoin that's quite different about Bitcoin is we're really close to that EMA in comparison to where Bitcoin is, where if you pull up Bitcoin's EMA, we are way below that EMA. So knowing that, I think there's going to be more opportunity in Bitcoin for this next swing up. But what I do like about Litecoin is the fact that we're seeing consistent volume, right? With Bitcoin, the volume is kind of descending in a way, while with Litecoin, we're seeing volume stay stable. And I think that's a good thing for a coin like Litecoin that has seen quite the bit of adoption over time as it's listed on Coinbase and some of these other major exchanges. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Any other questions before we wrap up this stream? Gold Mode says, dude, I love you, but let's kick it old school for once. By the way, check out my channel. Michael says, Naeem, what the heck is going on with ETH? Nothing is going on with ETH. We actually told you all that ETH was most likely going to see a retracement since we were above these overbought levels for over 30 days. And that's something that has occurred in the past. Remember, you got to look at the history. Too many people don't look at the history and they try to predict the future, but you got to look at the history. So I don't know what you're talking about, what's going on with ETH. What I do know is we're obviously retracing right now, and we're most likely going to bounce off that 50-day, and that would allow this RSI to also become oversold. So that's my opinion on ETH at this present time. And then somebody says, Nano. We should probably take a look at Nano then, apparently. A lot of people are saying Nano. Let's pull up Nano. Yoni said Nano, BTC. What's going on with Nano? Oh, that's interesting. So with Nano approaching an accumulation period as well, or accumulation area, I think that we're definitely going to see a swing very soon. Overbought or oversold already. So in this case, I would say the best time to get in Nano is now, right? There's not much technical analysis that we need to do in this chart. All we need to look at is the fundamentals here and say, okay, it's obviously oversold right now. Every time we've hit that oversold region, look what happened last time we hit oversold, right? Let me show you all the power of the RSI. Let's just take a quick break. Each and every one of you watching right now, let me show you the power of the RSI. Look at this. So the RSI peaked bottom right around here, right? So this is where we touched bottom. Let's say you were to initiate a position just based on that RSI and then sold when it hit overbought. That would have been, this is exactly where it hit overbought levels. That would have been a 36% gain in profits. That's how important these RSI levels are. It shows you exactly when an asset class becomes oversold or overbought, which basically means it's going to go the opposite direction. So if you're cognizant and aware of that, you're going to be able to act upon that and then make profits based upon that. So somebody says, if Bitcoin makes a complete reversal, should we ride it or ride the altcoins? I think you should diversify, Farouk. Mohammed says, where's Bitcoin headed? It's going to start swinging back up sometime soon. So that's kind of the overall sentiment of this live stream. So you all are well aware of the fact that we're heading towards these oversold regions. And as our other analysts talked about, we're heading towards an accumulation zone as well. Vera Regara says, every time on or around the 6th of the month, February and April, we had the Bitcoin pump. Any thoughts on that? I think we're going to see it soon, like I've been talking about. Mr. Nice says, drop some likes for Naeem. I've been following you since November. You the man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for following us for so long. Somebody says Tron. Anthony's spamming Tron. Stop spamming. Let's do Tron really quick. Take a look at what's happening with Tron. We are approaching the mainnet launch. Still forming and completing that handle. The one thing about Tron that I don't like is the fact that these RSI levels are still high in comparison to the majority of coins. Even if you're to pull up the TRX USD chart, you can see RSI levels are still in this neutral zone. We're seeing slight positive divergence here, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, knowing that Tron has already seen quite a bit of exuberance, I think that we can get a little bit of some better price levels over the next couple of days if we just give it a little bit more time to complete this handle formation, because it's definitely forming a cup and handle, and it's most likely going to break out soon. What I will tell you is this, though, regardless of where you buy into Tron and you start dollar cost averaging now or later, I think we're definitely going to see this see all-time highs following the mainnet launch. Whether it's right after the mainnet or let's say we see a sell-off after the mainnet, I think it'll take some time maybe, but we'll definitely see all-time highs knowing the partnerships and the type of marketing style that Justin Sun implements with Tron. It's just it's a coin that, in my opinion, is poised to see a breakout very soon. Somebody says, thank you, brother. You're very welcome. Book giveaway. Farouk Shaikh says book giveaway. Well, how about this? I'll do you guys a simple favor here. What is this right here stand for? This bottom area, these bars. What does that represent? We'll give away a book if you guys can answer that. And then we'll wrap up this live stream unless we have other questions. Mohammed says Bitcoin beard. All right. Oh, tons of people. Somebody said icon. That's not right. Great days. Unless that's a request. Michael Bierman says resistance level. Not this bar. Not these bars down here. Let's see here. Brett says relative strength index. No, that's down here. That's not the bars up here. Let's see. A ton of people are saying the right answer, which is volume. And you guys are right. And the winner is going to be Alex Kalut. I chose Alex Kalut. There were a lot of people that said volume. But we'll do more giveaways. Don't worry. Alex Kalut, send me a message on Twitter at SnipersTube, and you can claim your book giveaway. So somebody says Warriors in the finals again from San Francisco. Yes, you're right, Steve Bernardo. Crypto Surfer says, bruh. My Master Eagle says, what platform to use? Joshua Stephen Ward says, congrats, Alex. You're very welcome. Awesome. Well, if we have no other questions, Polcrum CEO says, what do you think of the Binance coin? If you don't already know Polcrum CEO, I made a video recently called what is the most undervalued coin of 2018, and it was the Binance coin. So that's just a precursor for you to understand what my real opinion is on that coin. I'm very bullish on the Binance coin. Very, very excited about it. Somebody says he's cheated. He used Google. Another question, please. People try to justify anything, right? Oh, he cheated. Or he did this. Aki has an interesting thought. He says, in the coming years, Bitcoin will lose its dominance. It'll still be around, but not everything will be tied to it. Tired of seeing altcoins being dragged down with it. Screw Bitcoin, alts will roll. I actually am talking to this company that's trying to solve that issue. So we're most likely going to have that solved soon. Investors of Crypto says, love you, bro. Love you too, man. Sorry I haven't gotten back to you recently. I've been super busy, man. I've got tons of unread messages I need to reply to, but I'll get to them soon. Roman says, are you able to do this type of charting on Binance? Partially, not as good as you can do it on TradingView. What I like about TradingView is it also has traditional markets. So if I pull up the Nasdaq here, I can look at the Nasdaq right now if I wanted to, and then I could just kind of correlate the traditional markets to our current market. If you guys don't know, our traditional markets have seen quite the rough period over the past couple of months as well. You know, we saw huge drops, and it was really since the cryptocurrency revolution started to become such a prominent thing in the world, right? You can see this is the start of January. Look what the cryptocurrency world has done to the stock market. Isn't this crazy? Like, we really saw the exuberance right here around this time frame. And then everything beyond that has been just super rocky for the stock market, right? And I think that's pretty cool, to be honest, that we can influence markets like that. And I just personally believe that the stock market is just, in my opinion, an outdated market, right? I think that companies are going to be way more apt and way more excited to offer tokens that isn't giving up equity of their company than they are to offer actual equity of their company through shares in the stock market. And, that's why I believe this is the biggest revolution that we've ever seen in the financial markets since the Industrial Revolution, right? So I'm very excited for that. And that's why I like using TradingView. So Leela 11 says, maybe it's what the stock market did to cryptocurrency. That's funny. Dragon says, LO, I love your criticism. Farouk says, with Lightning Network and Segwit, good luck trying to dethrone Bitcoin. 99% of alts are going to fall. Appreciate it. Will Bitcoin hit all-time high this year? I believe we will see all-time highs soon. I just believe that we need to see the institutional money come in. And I think as soon as we see one hint of institutions coming in, that's when we're going to see the influx of them. And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this live stream, you guys want more, we put in a lot of work, just like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys coming in and valuing my opinion and my thoughts. And I will be with you guys tomorrow, and I think the topic of tomorrow is going to be which altcoins to diversify your portfolio in as we start to see and expect this next run up. What do y'all think? Good or bad? Good? Awesome. Brino says, you are the best. Thank you for tuning in, Brino. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Dorian. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, Middleway. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Bren. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Emek, Polcrum, Marcos H, CEO. First time out here, man, because you asked that Binance question. I know you're a first timer. All right, so Dragon on Crypto says, great tea as per usual. Thank you, man. Thank you for being part of our channel for such a long time. Kevin K says, thank you. George M, thank you, man. John Kaplan, I like that name. Bitcoin Plug, are you the plug? Sharif, good to have you. Sidrath, Gangwar, nice name. GS Twan, Mike Epps. Bitcoin's the plug. He says Syscoin. I'm very bullish on Syscoin too. I'm actually very bullish on that in the short term. I think we'll see a huge run up soon. Chad Stolerick. Interesting name. Thank you, Fred. Thank you all. You guys are awesome. And until our next show, snipers out.